Every champion gets the same question eventually. Where do they rank all time? The 2026 Knicks just won it all, but here's the twist. They don't fit the usual profile of an all-time great team. They weren't a 70-win juggernaut. They were something different and arguably more impressive in one specific way. So let's figure out exactly where this championship team belongs in history. Here's how we'll judge it, honestly. First, their regular season resume, how dominant they actually were. Then a comparison to the truly all-time great champions. Then the case for why this team is special anyway, and a final, fair ranking. I'll be straight about where they shine and where they don't. Let's start with the regular season. This is Game is Culture. If you like rankings done with real data instead of hype, hit subscribe. We're chasing 1,000. It's free and it helps. Now their resume. The regular season resume. Let's be honest about the regular season. The Knicks went 53-29. Very good, but not historic. In fact, only the third seed in the East, a full 7 games behind the 60-win Pistons. Their net rating was plus 6.5, 5th in the league. That's a strong, balanced team. 3rd-ranked offense, top 10 defense, but it is not the profile of a dominant, all-time regular season force. And that matters because the teams we call the greatest of all time usually destroyed the regular season first. They didn't just win the title, they steamrolled everyone for 82 games and then kept rolling. The Knicks didn't do that. They were a very good team that got hot and tough at the perfect time. So by pure regular season dominance, they don't crack the top tier. Let's show why. Versus the all-time juggernauts. Compare them to the gold standard. The 96 Bulls went 72-10. The 2017 Warriors went 67-15, with net ratings up around plus 11 to 13, nearly double the Knicks. Those teams were statistical monsters that lost almost nothing. The Knicks, at 53 wins and plus 6.5, simply aren't in that statistical class. By the numbers, it's not close. So if the ranking were purely about season dominance, the Knicks would land outside the all-time top tier, in the very good but not legendary range. And that's a fair, honest read. They did not have the regular season of a Bulls or a Warriors super team. But a champion's legend isn't only written in October through April, it's written in June, and that's where this team flips the script. Why they're special anyway? Because what they did in the finals is historic. 4 of their 5 games were decided by 1 to 4 points. They beat a 62-win Wembanyama-led Spurs team, and in Game 4, they pulled off the largest comeback in the history of the NBA Finals, down 29 and back. No all-time great regular season team ever had to do that. The Knicks earned this in the fire. That's the case for this team's greatness. The Juggernauts won by being so much better that the games were never in doubt. The Knicks won by being tougher than anyone when the games were always in doubt. Those are 2 different kinds of great. One is about dominance, the other is about resilience. And resilience, the kind that erases a 29-point finals deficit, is its own rare, unforgettable form of greatness. The final ranking. So here's my honest placement. As a pure team by season dominance, the 2026 Knicks rank as a good champion, not an all-time juggernaut, clearly below the 70-win Bulls and Warriors of history. But as a story, as a clutch, battle-tested comeback champion, they're one of the most memorable title teams in decades. Call them a mid-tier all-time team with a top-tier all-time run. And that's not an insult, it's a compliment with context. Plenty of beloved champions weren't statistical monsters. They're remembered for how they won, not by how much. These Knicks belong in that group, the champions whose legend is built on toughness and a signature moment rather than a gaudy win total. Decades from now, nobody will recite their net rating. They'll remember the 29-point comeback. And one more point in their favor, the opponent and the path. They didn't beat up on a weak field. They survived a 62-win Spurs team led by a generational talent. In a finals where almost every game was a coin flip, a champion is partly judged by what it had to overcome. By that measure, few recent champions overcame more in the finals than this one. It's worth remembering that win totals can be deceiving when ranking champions. Some celebrated teams piled up regular season wins against weak competition, then barely survived June. Others, like these Knicks, coasted less in the regular season but were forged in brutal playoff battles. If anything, a champion tested by 4 one-possession finals games is more proven under pressure than one that cruised. Dominance is impressive, survival is revealing, and history tends to remember moments over metrics. Decades from now, the 2026 Knicks won't be recalled for a 53-win regular season. They'll be remembered for erasing a 29-point finals deficit and ending a 53-year drought in a road rock fight. Those are the images that outlive spreadsheets. By that measure, the legacy measure, this team ranks far higher than its record alone suggests. So that's the verdict. By raw dominance, the 2026 Knicks are a good champion, not an all-time great team. But by toughness, resilience, and sheer drama, theirs is one of the most memorable title runs in modern history. So where do you put them? Overrated as a team or underrated for how hard they won? Tell me below. And if you want more all-time rankings, subscribe and join the family.